Hey, what's up? This is Brandon Simmons from BrandonSimmons.biz, and this is my weekly video blog called Bullheaded, a review of the Houston Texans news as well as a preview of the upcoming game matchups. So this week, the Texans will be hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars, a rematch from the Week 5 game in which the Texans won 13-6 on the road in Jacksonville. So going to be a real spicy matchup this time around. But before I get into all that, let me do a quick rich week 16 recap. And listen, man, I have to do this recap. It's not every week or every day that you get to talk about a Texans win around here. So let me revel in this moment. First off, I want to give a huge shout out to our defense, uh, generating 3 turnovers in this game. You know, and so there was ah, I was slipping my mind. I just seen the notes. There was, of course, there was Taylor Hanson. He forced a fumble early in the third quarter, and Grenard recovered that. Then you had Christian Harris. He got the interception after we scored the touchdown. So big ups to them. And of course, Petrie with the interception at the end of the game. But just getting those turnovers and just kind of slowing down the momentum that the Titans had in this game, in this close game, mind you. Another thing that I really want to just kind of highlight is Davis Mills. He was fantastic in that fourth quarter. Led 2 scoring drives. He led the field goal drive. Then he also led the drive that scored the eventual game-winning touchdown. And so, to me, that was the Davis. You heard that announcer talking about how cool and calm he is. Well, that was some of the things we've been saying about Davis Mills. Heading into this particular season. Just coming off of what he did at the end of last year, and so I mean, yeah, you want to. You get the vibe that it's a too little, too late type of thing. But I think any win is really look. Any win is a win. You unfortunately, we've taken them, as a little bit later than what we wanted them to, but it happens. You know what I'm saying? So I'm celebrating this win. I'm relishing in this win. Of course, I celebrated on Christmas Eve. So you know what I'm saying. So, but yeah, congrats to the Texans on getting the second win of the season, and you know what I'm saying. Hopefully, we'll get another one this week. Uh, so that's what I have on the game recap. Injuries. Titus Howard. He was full participant in practice and on Thursday. Did not practice Tuesday, I believe, but didn't practice Wednesday. Um, Morrissey, he did not practice at all this week. Um, Cooks didn't practice yesterday, and he didn't practice today. So Brandon Cooks did not practice uh, Wednesday or Thursday. I know. I remember they said that Wednesdays are kind of like this. His scheduled time off that they gave him. I'm not sure if that's still going on or not, but he was listed as not being able to practice also today. But actually, on the injury report, it said it was something like personal and non-injury related. So, who knows what that may or may not be? Um, yeah, didn't. I, I do not want to. I do not want to mess his name up. Agumba Agumba Wale. OG, yo, he did not. He was a limited participant in practice. So hopefully he'll be good to go this weekend. So rather quick, uh, quicker than usual, and a lot of other topics. As far as things go, it's probably just a lot of the same stuff. Speculation about who's getting fired, blah blah blah, this and that. I'm probably gonna save all that for next week because I'm pretty sure everything's gonna be ramping up to open the year up with. It's hot seat season anyway, so it's. I mean, the Broncos, they fired their coach after 1 year. We fired a coach after 1 year last season, so who knows what's gonna happen and who who's going to be surprised at what happens. So that's all I have to say about that. Until next week, of course. Um, so yeah, with that being said, the Texans are going to be taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars this week, and it's a rematch from week 5 when we beat them 13-6. Uh, the tiebreaker actually being the Damian Pierce rushing touchdown, and so things have since changed since that particular game. So one of the things is the Jaguars were not anywhere near first place. They were 2-2 coming into the game, and I think the Titans were just about to really hit their stride through the middle of the season. So Jags were still kind of figuring things out, but really impressing people at their expectations that they had of the team. So you know, that's what it was. They was like, oh, the Jaguars got beat by the Texans. They're not gonna be anything this year. Well, fast forward to week 17 coming up this week, and things have completely changed for Jacksonville. One being that they're now first place in the AFC South. Whereas the Texans, they're probably at where they've been expected to be for most of the season. But um, it's gonna be a good game based off recent history. The Texans, they've been last few weeks they've been playing these tough emotional games, and before the season even started, when I looked at the schedule, I said, these stretch of games they're going to be they're going to really tell like what kind of group of players that we have, and that was assuming that things would be on the upswing, if you will, and not where it's currently at right now. And so, despite things being like on a downward spiral, the players have actually kind of responded to some of the hype around these games that the fans have built. Because I mean, pretty much that's all who can kind of muster up. The fans really just muster up like the motivation for just kind of watching these games. So the story. I mean, because the storylines are there. With the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson returning to Houston. With the Dallas Cowboys, obviously, it's the Dallas Cowboys. Where the fans are definitely going to want to see their team come out on top in that one. Um, the Kansas City Chiefs, it didn't seem like it was going to be a lot of hype for that one, considering it's the Kansas City Chiefs and they're them. But it was a close game for the most part, and you see what happened with the Tennessee Titans. They they it going if they'd had Ryan Tannehill, it would have been a little bit. Probably would have been a different story. But I mean, at the same time, it wasn't. They had a rookie quarterback starting, and they put him in a position to try to win the game, and it did not work out. Um, Now with the Texans fighting all those tough emotional games, they're going to be facing their division rival at the top of the year on New Year's Day. So you know what I'm saying? That this team is going to get up for that. I feel, you know, and so as bad as things were bad. Ooh, eat it. So so kind of going. Things were bad at the beginning of the season for the Texans, but not as bad as they are now. And even then, I think the worst part about all of what's going on right now is that everybody's just kind of playing a waiting game. I think everything's been kind of sealed. So, with that being said, everything's kind of been sealed for the Texans. As far as the Jaguars go, they have a lot. They have a lot more fighting to do in these next 2 weeks. So, the Texans, they there's a couple of things that I want to see the Texans do in this game in particular. So once again, we need more spoiler energy. Yeah. So I like I just said, they've been Texans at Houston's been playing these tough games against rivals and all this other stuff, former teammates, all that junk, and You know what I'm saying? Like the teams they've all, for the most part, most of the teams they play, about 3 out of 4 of them, they're all playing for some type of playoff position right now. That so the games mean much more to the Texans opponents. So I would love to see the Texans match their competitive energy with their opponents, who know that if they don't win this game, their their playoff their playoff experience is going to be kind of messed up or non-existent. So, and that goes for Jacksonville. If they don't win this game, they're gonna have a tough time. Um, they're gonna have a tough time staying at top of the division. Um, so they're definitely going to be trying to give it all they got, especially against us when they think they can just push us over because of what's been going on during the season. So, but they're definitely going to try and really bring it to us, and it's our job to really bring it to them and bring even more of it to them, to just kind of outbattle them. So definitely more spoiler energy is what I want to see. That same spoiler energy that I've been seeing for the past couple weeks against these other teams. Um, win the passing battle. So I know it's it's tough to say, you know, Davis Mills needs to try to outduel uh, Trevor Lawrence, considering the way Trevor Lawrence has been playing this year. I think, what I'm saying, like he's ninth ranked in passing yards this season. So, and Davis Mills is Davis Mills. So, um, so yeah, but what I will say is this: the Jaguars, they are 29th in pass defense, and so I think the thing is the Texans really just need to kind of spread the ball around, uh, and just what I'm saying, keep that going, keep Davis Mills in some sort of rhythm like that. Last week when they was doing the two quarterback thing, it looked like they were getting some burn on it in the first half. You know what I'm saying? They were doing really good. Then I think the second half, probably like maybe the first drive of the third quarter, uh, something happened and they just went away from it. And so with them going away from it, it seemed they had made something click in Davis Mills, and whatever clicked in him, that's what kind of sparked him to have that fourth quarter that he had. So Mills needs to build on that fourth quarter. He needs to go back and see, like, what changed, what set him off to like go in there and just perform like that. What did he have success with? Coaches too, they need to see what plays that they call to get him going, because uh, you know what I'm saying. Yikes. Sorry, my phone was too high. So anyway, but yeah, he needs to. The coach needs to go back and see what kind of plays that they called that actually got him going and got him dialed in to have a successful quarter like that. Because he's going to need to have 4 of those this weekend. So that's what I feel like the coaches need to do. Work with him on that, and what I'm saying, see what they can get done out of that. So. Those are the only two things that I just kind of want to. I just really want to see. I just want to see the Texans have more spoiler energy for this Jacksonville team that's trying to hold on to first place in the division, and I just want to see the Texans. I want to see the offense kind of win this passing battle, because they got some. Jacksonville does have some good running backs, but they Trevor Lawrence, he really can't air it out. So, and with a young secondary that we have, I know it's gonna definitely, I know it's definitely gonna be something that he's kind of salivating at to see like how he can get his numbers up to push his team up. So, that's all I got for y'all this week. With that being said, I'm Brandon Simmons for BrandonSimmons.biz. Happy New Year. See y'all on the other side. Holla black.